What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing another Kirby video. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is almost here, and I wanted to bring up another 2D Kirby game that tends to be a bit controversial from what I've heard, and that is Kirby Star Allies. This is a Kirby game I was very excited for back then. When it was revealed, well, it didn't have a title back then, actually. I was very excited for this, and after all these years, how do I feel about it? Let's talk about it. Alright, so the plot is actually pretty interesting to say the least. Let's just go and talk about it. There are a bunch of... You're looking at Space Boy, I can't talk, and there's a bunch of hearts falling around the sky and hits King Dedede's place. And it's up to Kirby to see what the heck is going on. Boy, do I have to say this for literally every type of Kirby game, huh? I guess so. But, yeah, that's the plots. Something happens. Kirby has to figure out what's going on. I promise, it gets more interesting from here. Alright, so, yeah. So the gameplay is pretty much what you expect from the modern Kirby games. Jumping, floating, getting copy abilities, etc. But you have a brand new type of ability called Friend Hearts. And if you played something like Kirby Superstar, it's kind of the same concept where you get, where you get a partner with you, an enemy with you to help you out on your adventure. Sort of like that, like Kirby Superstar, but you can get up to 3 this time instead of 1. You think this sounds cool at first, we'll get to that in a bit. But, yeah, you can do that. Of course, we have some other copy abilities as well. Usual ones like, we have Artist here. Artist was one in Kirby Superstar that I only use like once, so it's nice to finally see here. We have another new ability. Festival, which is a one-type use type ability, however you say that. And Spider, I love Spider a lot. And Staff, pretty cool abilities, honestly. And we still have the usuals like Beam, Beetle, Bomb. Cleaning makes a return. Cook makes a return as well. ESP, Cutter, Fighter, Fire, Hammer, Ice, Mike, Ninja, Parasol, don't care. Plasma, Sleep, Stone. Suplex is back. And I think that's Sword, usual Sword, Water, Whip. Water makes a return, by the way. So, Whip, Wing, and Yo-Yo makes a return as well. So, there's definitely a lot of new and returning abilities in this game. So, they definitely added quite a bit of copy abilities to this. And also, fun fact, just like in, if you played Kirby Squeak Squad, this game is definitely controversial. I'm definitely going to make a video on this game someday. But in Kirby Squeak Squad, you can combine, like, abilities to get, like, a different type of effect, like a fire sword or ice sword, water sword, something like that. And you can kind of basically do the same in this game. You can just get different effects depending on if you have to hold up and get a party member to do it for you. And honestly, that's really cool to just do stuff like that. You're going to need it for obvious puzzles as well. Speaking of that, the collectibles in this game are, yeah, it's just a big puzzle piece you need to grab in order to continue during the game. It's just one collectible out of, yeah, that's really it, honestly. Oh, excuse me. It's definitely, interesting that it's just one collectible out of other Kirby titles that have, like, multiple. So this is already looking bad already. And, of course, you have the mini bosses as well. Some obvious returning ones, and then, you know, stuff like that. So there's definitely some cool boss fights, usual fights that we see, and all that. And, of course, you have the bosses themselves. Wispy Woods, yeah, pretty cool. We always see Wispy Woods a lot. You also have King Dedede, who is buffed. You can also get him on your team after you defeat him. You also have Meta Knight, you have Khan. Yeah, I said that correctly. And then you have these 3 characters. Francisca, Flame Burge, and Zan Parzan, blah blah blah. Yeah, that name. But yeah, you have also those 3 bosses. Oh my god, their music is so freaking good, especially the 3rd one. I'm not saying the name, it's too complicated. But yeah, there's definitely some pretty cool boss fights in here. And I guess we should talk about the ending so I don't end this on a Down the what the heck, why not? You also fight different versions, harder versions of them, which yeah, cool. Oh yeah, Crackle makes a return. That's cool, I guess. And of course, you have the final boss himself. There are 2 phases. I mean, it's Kirby. You can have multiple phases on these final bosses, but yeah, there's definitely a lot to this. And I just gotta say, I love the bosses for sure, especially the final boss and the ending. Oh my god, it's magical, honestly. It's really good. And of course, you have a secret boss as well. How to scare Kirby fans. Yeah, that's your little hint. So yeah, that's pretty much everything Kirby Star Allies. There's also other modes, of course, as well. And oh yeah, there's also a demo for the game if you want to try it. But yeah, there's also amiibo support. I don't know, I feel like Kirby's really the only exception that Nintendo still care. I guess besides Smash Bros. And some of the Kirby titles, Nintendo does not really give much care to the amiibos lately, especially some of the Mario titles. None of the Mario sports games uses amiibo, but yeah. But it's cool, I guess. And also, we have a few extra modes as well. The Hero Guest mode, I believe. That's something like that. Basically, it's the same game again, but you can now pick someone other than Kirby. So, yeah, that's pretty cool, honestly. You can do that. And if you do it for every character, you can do it for every character if you want. I never did that, but it's pretty cool, honestly. So now, I pretty much talked about everything, especially getting puzzle pieces, all that stuff. There is one thing that I feel like people now, this is often themed as like the weaker Kirby titles. I don't think anyone would say it's a straight up garbage, bad type of game, like one of the worst things ever. Because if people say it's that bad, they're definitely overreacting. I played much worse games than this, honestly. And how do I feel about it? It's alright. There's definitely some good concepts, but I think my biggest problem with the game, and there's only 4 worlds, and the game is a bit on the short side. I know a short game can be... Does a short game really make a game bad? Not really. One of my favorite 3D platformers is Wario World, and that only has 8 stages. So, a short game is not bad at all as long as it's handled well, but there's only 4 worlds in this game with a ton of levels, and I don't like that concept. I like multiple worlds with, you know, fitting the level theme, in my opinion. Sort of what Forgotten Land did. So, yeah. And I think also another thing that this has been a topic amongst Nintendo fans. I might update this video sometime this year or something, I don't know. But free updates. Free updates is something we're not a fan of. I know, it only depends how it's handled. But with Star Allies specifically, every few months they've added some returning fan favorite Kirby characters to play as. And including an extra mode as well, another dimension, I believe, something like that. So, yeah. But here's the thing, why wasn't this there at launch? Well, from what I've heard, Kirby Star Allies was rushed during development, so this might explain why it was launched this way. Would adding all this content really change opinions on the game itself? Maybe, but I don't know. I just really think... I can't really hate the game per se, to be honest, because there's a lot of fan favorite characters that just made the game pretty much better for most people, honestly. I think this is one of the free updates sort of handled well, but I wouldn't say completely handled well. Was the game lacking at launch? Kirby titles tend to really have the same amount of content anyway, so I'm not sure if lacking at launch. I don't know if it was really that lacking, per se. It's not like people, like, how many people play, I guess because of the mini-games, maybe. Yeah, there's more in-depth mini-games in the other modern Kirby titles than the ones in Star Allies. They're a bit forgettable and not that fun, but otherwise... I don't know, it seems like everything is around the same as the other Kirby titles. Not saying this in a good way, obviously, but yeah, I don't think lacking is really the term, in my opinion. I'm definitely going to be pissing people off today. But yeah, otherwise, Star Ally, and also, the bosses themselves are also too easy. Does an easy game make a game bad? Not necessarily. I mean, hell, I could probably say all 5 Donkey Kong Country games are very easy because of how many times I've beaten them. But I'm a huge Donkey Kong fan, so that's different. But with Kirby titles tend to be easy, but at least there's some level of challenge, especially with the ending and stuff like that. But I feel like with Star Allies, they made the bosses sort of easy, especially when you have a lot of allies attacking and stuff. So it kind of just makes the game a yeah, just a breeze, honestly. So, No pun not intentional. But yeah, honestly, this doesn't really bother me per se, but I can understand this criticism. But I don't think it's a bad Kirby game, or hell, it's not even one of the weaker Kirby games. I don't know if it's in my top 10 Kirby games, honestly, but it's definitely a solid entry. It's a fine, alright entry in the Kirby series. Weakest in the modern mainline trilogy, maybe, but otherwise, it's fine. It's not a bad game or anything, but I don't know. I think like people really overreact to how bad this game actually is. For sure. Definitely set high expectations. I feel like playing Robots, which is a game I'm going to talk about, I promise, really set high expectations for what the next Kirby game could look like, so I can't really blame them, to be honest, so yeah. But otherwise, Kirby Star Allies itself, yeah, it's alright, it's fine. Not amazing, there's still other titles I prefer, but it's definitely far from bad. But I also, and this is probably more of an internet thing, but don't get offended if someone doesn't like Star Allies. Criticism is always valid, no matter what. So, don't get offended or anything. So yeah. So yeah, that's Kirby Star Allies. Don't have much really to say. The game is not bad, but it's not amazing. It definitely could have been better. Thankfully, we have Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe on the way, which, in my opinion, is my favorite 2D Kirby game. And for all the comments about Planet Robot, yet again, I promise I will talk about that game, including Triple Deluxe. You might be a bit mad, or maybe not. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you play Kirby Star Allies, how do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments below. Later, folks.